Okay, so good morning, good evening, and good noon to traders all around the globe. Rolly here again, the owner of this RAFX daily broadcast on our local uh, stock market, which is the uh, Philippine Stock Exchange. And again, our broadcast flow for today, we will be reviewing the PSEI, which is our index, and then we will also review the COL latest research. If they have any, we will check on that, and then I will check on my um, this one, the previous position that I have, or the current position that I have on uh, this panel, or in this market. Yeah. And then we will review some of the charts that I personally love and trying to invest in the long term. So we have here ARIT, DITO, AP, DMC, House, and MDT. And of course, depending on the news that we will have today on COL's research document, then we will try to see and check the chart and take our opinion on how to trade or invest in them. But again, this is just my personal experience and knowledge. And uh, when you see me try to buy or sell any instrument or asset in this space, it doesn't mean that you need to do it as well. All I ask you to do is to do your own due diligence and research, because as we all know, trading and investing in the stock market is very risky, but it is very rewarding. So one advantage of doing your research and study is you don't have to depend on anyone when there is chaos in the market. So you can judge and decide on your own, because in the first place that is your hard earned money. So I'm just here to share my opinion on the market on a specific stock, and hopefully you can learn on how we trade either my local or in our local market, or in the global market. Okay, so moving on, let's start with wait, I just missed my So by the way, guys, if you notice, I changed my charting tool into Instagram. So the reason of which is when I check my COL charting tool today, if you noticed yesterday, we had a good analysis on some of the stuff that I followed. We put some stop loss and target prices in them, but when I check it today, I was a bit what you call this one, disappointed, because my template was done. All the study that we saved yesterday and previous day were done as well. So since it may also happen in the future, wherein we did our uh, decent amount of time to analyze the chart and save the tools and the important levels or market structure in the chart, and then one day it will just gone. So I just decided to move into Instagram, and we will just uh, give ourselves leeway on the ads that we may see from time to time on this charting tool. An update as well in our plan or in my plan to get a subscription in the trading view. I had a an answer for from the page that if I want a set of data from others exchange. So for example, in my case, if I want to get access in the Philippine Stock Exchange using TradingView, then I need to buy a subscription of at least the Pro or the minimal is the pro, or the premium, and then yeah, you can just ask the support to give you access and the Philippine Stock Exchange data, then it will deliver it to you. So one of advantage that I'm looking into that is because I do have a very good uh, indicators there which I use in trading the global markets, either in stocks, FX, commodities, oil, silver, and so on. And then if I will be able to subscribe in a premium, then I will also use that indicators to trade and invest in the assets in the Philippine Stock Exchange. So hopefully, that will be my next priority in the income stream that I am receiving, but it will be maybe later this year or earlier next year. So as of this moment, we'll just maximize whatever tools that we may have, as long as it serves our purpose and the uh, inconveniences that it give is just a minimal, then I will still go for it. Okay. So next is let's see how our index goes as of this moment. So at this point, index is up by 19%. I mean 0.19%. Looking at in our chart, we still have or will still have in an uptrend because as you can all see, the 200 baseline is still below the current price, but the current price also breaks down from the 100 baseline, which is the purple line that you can see here. So the MACD here is still on the lower zone of the MACD levels, and the MACD line is also below the signal sign, which means that there is a probability that the downtrend is still going on until we see probably in the next few days when the MACD improves and the RSI also improves. Then we will decide if we will check on some of the assets that we need to accumulate or trade in. Okay, so that's the overview of the stock index. And then let's check our position. We do have a trading position for FPH and Costco. So let's check uh, Costco first. So for Costco, currently it is down 1.10%, and um, it is still in the uptrend, and RSI is moving towards the lower or the oversold level, and MACD is also trying to get into the sell zone as well. So let's observe if our stop loss will be hit in this trade. So again, let's try to uh, set our stop loss using Investa because our template in COL was gone yesterday. So my stop loss will probably be in here and set that into red for us to know that it is a stop loss. Okay, so now that we have our template saved, then we can revisit this during the monitoring and management of this trade. So I'll just hold that trade because as we can see, the uptrend is still intact and it's still too far from our stop loss. So next is FPH. So for FPH, it's up. So it is a no change for today as of the moment. And looking in our other indicators, the MACD is still improving. The RSI is still flat on that 37.9437 level. So we're still good, and let's flat our stop loss again so that we will know that we need to stop or exit on that zone. So probably this is the next support. So if this is the next support, then we will give it a little more room. So my support would be in there. Okay, so it doesn't mean that this support or this stop loss should be hit. If we do or if we see another worst or uh, movement, let's say this price will deteriorate into the below that 100 baseline level, and this one will be moving towards that oversold level, then we need to exit instead of waiting for that stop loss to get hit. Okay, so that is our uh, chart review and management for our current trade position. So next is we will check our COL uh, notes if we do have some information. So they have one today, or they have a few actually. Uh, they have a technical guide, so I usually don't do this because it may affect my technical decisions, because I think their technical person, which is, if I remember it correctly, one is their technical lead for technical analysis. So we have a different strategy. So I am avoiding those type of document or information because it may affect psychologically in my decision, because we are using a different approach in terms of technical trades. So let's proceed with the daily notes. They have here a uh, technical notes, and according to this, they have stock in focus, which is Ayala Corporation, uh, CNVRG, ASEN, Nickel, and EMP. These are just um, fiscal year 2020 earnings that may help for those of you that are listening that would like to know more on their fundamentals. So I am browsing it as of the moment. If I can see a buy or sell uh, advice or recommendation, and yeah, I don't see any. So let's check their market summary for yesterday's session. So the local equities markets declined on Thursday as investors stayed on the sidelines amidst the spike in the daily COVID-19 cases in the country. The PSE dropped 89.14 points, or 1.3%, to close at 6.719.18. The main drags were AAV, which down by negative 4.76%, JGS negative 3.39%, SM negative 2.55%, Globe 2.48, and SMC also down by another 2.42%. On the other hand, the only gainers that we had yesterday was S&P 8, which is up about 2.09%, DMC, which is one of our monitored stock, 1.31%, and BT is another stock that is my personal favorite for my dividend play, also up 1.05%. And EMP is 0.39%. So value turnover declined to 8.6 billion from the 11.1 billion the previous session. Meanwhile, net foreign selling increased yesterday to 808.8 million. The 78.9 million lagged the previous day. So some of traders would like to know mm, if there are foreigners that are moving out and moving in our exchange because they have a large amount of capital to invest and trade in our markets, which somehow affects the most of uh, companies that are listed in the exchange. So that's why it is good to know the movement of capital from the foreign traders and investor. Okay. So next is they have a stock focus, which is Ayala Corporation. This is just a fiscal year earnings. According to this, uh, AC profit misses estimate as subsidiaries lag. So maybe this is because of the current or of the pandemic that happened 2020. So let's see if we can see another good news in here. So MWC also in the fourth quarter of 2020 core profits slipped 8.7% year on year. AC Energy profit surged because this is, I think, of the high demand during the pandemic because most of the people stayed in their house. So when everybody is in the house, the classic effect of it is we consume more of electricity than before. Okay, so they have a maintain hold recommendation for AC because of the value eight estimate of still 859. So let's see if that estimate is a good uh, position to trade AC. So currently it is about 758.50 and their fair value estimate is 859. So that's around over here. Okay, actually it's not bad. So if you will try to accumulate in this area, but as you can see, it just break down on our 200 moving average level, which means that this could trigger another selling pressure that may go into the next support, which in this case, uh, this one here. Okay, so that will be the next support for AC. So when that happens, we will try again if it will try to bounce on that level or it will break it down. So if you are interested to accumulate or invest in this company, which is one of the biggest company in the country, uh, try to wait for this level to go down more because it's just breaks the 200 moving average and buy on those levels instead of buying it now because as you can see, as I said, it can trigger another selling pressure moving to the next support level. So yeah, that's my opinion on AC based on this document. So the next one is CNVRG. So I am not very familiar with uh, this company because again I just went just get back from the uh, in the local market. Okay, so they also have ASEN net income below forecast on higher than expected interest. So ASEN disclosed its fourth quarter of 2020 net income to 185%. This brought fiscal year 2020 net income to 3.7 billion, significantly up from 58 million. So yeah, they also reiterate hold rating. So I'm curious what is ASIN doing. So let me check on ads. Let's see ASIN. Oh, it's sorry, ASIN. ASIN. This is the energy arm. Asian Energy Corporation, formerly AC Energy, was originally established and incorporated. This is TransAsia. Okay, so another electricity and energy subsector. Okay, so let's check their chart. Asian Energy Corporation. Yeah. So according to this chart, it is still in an uptrend, just below the 50 baseline, and it's trying to come back above it. So if we were going to trade this, that's your uh, medium term target, and you just wait for the MACD signal to cross the the uh, signal line, then you are good to enter because RSI is already moving up. Also, the volume indicator is giving us a good volume to trade on the long side. Obviously, we can short any stock asset in the Philippines because we don't support it yet here. But on the long side, yeah, that's around how many? Uh, that's around 39.77%. If you're lucky to get in now, then that's the probability of your income. But the risk is, of course, you need to assess that your next support is here. That's the immediate support. And personally, if I am going to trade this, I will put my support there for ASIN. Okay. So yeah, do we still have anything on this document? Nickel. So nickel earnings beat forecast on stronger than expected ore prices and volume. So nickel, and then they also maintain their hold rating. So let's see how nickel is doing based on the chart on ITL. Yeah. it is going up, and you can trade it, and your immediate target price is in here. But for me, it is way below on my risk reward ratio, because if you enter now, that would be probably here. Your stop loss would be here, and then let's check how many risk reward that we can have based on that initial target. Okay, so the ratio would be um, less than 1%. So since it's less than 1%, I would probably skip this trade and wait for a price, for a better price, in order to have your risk reward uh, take advantage on the position. So that would be the for nickel. Okay, so that's for the COL document and daily notes that we have. Let's see if we can find any. They have a separate uh, note for technical spotlight. So I'll just uh, do a quick look. So again, this is technical analysis by their uh, research team, and yeah, I think I would skip that document for the reason that I would not want my technical decisions to be affected by the words and statement that I will see there. So next in our item is the chart review. So let's see if we can find something in our list. First is pre-RIP, one of my favorite for dividend play, and it's a investment in the property sector. So the price is trying to recover from that level, which is the 100 baseline, which is a good sign. And I would probably get some later today before the market close to add on my position. Okay, and technically it's still up because it's above the 100 moving average, is the um, one of the long-term positions or indicator that we use. But if you are a trader, I would advise you to wait for the MACD to improve. Let's say it should uh, come over here and try to bounce back, and also the RSI is in the sell zone and try to bounce back on that area. So that's probably the best thing to do if you are going to trade this one. But for those investor, that area level there is a good uh, place to add another position. Okay, and I will be doing that later today to deploy some of my capital for the investment part. So next is Dito. So Dito is recovering and now above the 100 baseline, and our RSI is also recovered and now up in the sell, in the oversold area, but our MACD is not yet giving us a signal to do a buy. So if you are going to trade this, look for those or wait for those indicators to uh, get materialized. Okay, so next is AP. AP is one of my favorite in the power sector and is a good dividend play. And technically, it's still on the downtrend, which is an advantage if you are an investor. But currently, the MACD line now crosses the signal line, which probably is telling us to start adding or start accumulating our position. Okay, and if you are a trader, my take on this is I would wait for the price to get above the 50 baseline, or wait for the price to uh, get above the 200 baseline, which means that it may start the uptrend. Okay, so for investor, I think this is a good level to start accumulating because it's uh, started to bounce on this support here. So that's for AP. Next in our list is DMC. Let's check its technical chart. So it's now sitting in the 100 baseline, and the MACD is in the accumulation stage. One advantage of that histogram being into that small bars and looks like an accumulation. It is telling us that there is something brewing and it might go up and shoot down, but that's not, uh, we don't know yet, but it's worth watching if you see that scenario in your MACD. And our RSI is in the 45 level, so it's in the almost middle of our oversold and overbought. Okay, so that's for DMC. Next is, let's check house. If you're just like me trying to get a good price in this uh, asset because of the dividend play today, or on that area, that is a good point to deploy some of the capital and watch this support here as well, so you can deploy some on the current price, and if it goes down here, then you need to deploy another one. For again, that's my take if you are an investor. But if you want to trade this stock, I should wait till the price goes beyond or above the 200 baseline, because that's the sign that we may be starting a good uptrend for this asset. So next is NBT, 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 NBT. Okay, it also sitting the on the ledge of 100 baseline, and let's check if, or let's wait if that will hold before doing the trade. But if you are an investor, I think this one is a good area to add some or deploy some of your capital there, because that's an opportunity as of the moment to increase your exposure in MBT. Again, the long-term target for MBT is in this area here. That's about uh, the all-time high, and that is during December 11, 2019. Okay, so I also have SPC. This is another dividend play that I am watching, and currently it is still in the consolidation phase. It might break out of this consolidation in the coming days, and yeah, for now I am not interested to add any or some of my capital in here because I am focused on a REIT for now. Okay, so we have that as our last uh, chart to review on technical point. The next is we check which of the stocks are active, which are the gainers, the losers, and we will also review the market sentiment on different locations. So now in the actives, first on the list is Dito, followed by USEN, PHA, APL, BPI, Metromart, TVG, BDO, LRW, and Rubin. So for gainers, LRW is the leading, SGP, LAND, BKR, MFC, Dito, TVGI, IDFN, and ZHI. So for losers, we have SPM, SFIP, ANS, OV, DIS, NRCP, CPM, IMP, MBC, and OM. So for the markets, DJIA is up 0.58 on the last session. Nasdaq is also up 2.52%. S&P 500 is also up 1.04%. So I think this is because the another batch of stimulus in the US was signed last night. So the Americans will receive at least $1,400 for each person that qualify for that uh, stimulus, and that is the reason I think why the exchange or their stock is up last night. So Hong Kong is also up 1.65%, and Japan is also up 0.27%. Okay, so that's it, everyone. So I hope you got uh, or you picked some value on our broadcast today. So hopefully you slowly uh, learn how RAFX or how I trade our local market. So again, I will try to do this on a daily basis and check my position because I do have a trading position and an investment position in the local market, and hopefully it will give you an idea but not an advice on how you are going to approach the market. Again, I reiterate that you should do your own diligence and study first the technicals, the fundamentals if you are a fundamentalist before spending any amount of your hard earned money on the stock market. So yeah, so good day, everyone, and thank you for staying and watching my broadcast today. See ya in my next uh, video. Bye.